Hello, friends. This coming Sunday, we come to the very core of Christ's teachings, the Beatitudes, which is the introduction to his Sermon on the Mount. You have the core and the essence of Jesus' teachings, and so very important. But you also need to understand or read this the way the ancients did, not how we read it. We don't know how to read this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to help you. Okay, first of all, I'm going to give you the overall context for the Beatitudes. And what we have in chapters 1 through 4, up to 5, is a narrative of Jesus from his birth all the way up to the mountain where we are today, which follows the outlines of ancient Israel. Okay, and it starts with Abraham, the genealogy, and ends with Joseph and Jesus. Abraham, the first Israelite, Jesus, the ultimate Israelite, and you see a lot of parallels with Joseph dreaming in the Old Testament, Joseph dreaming in the New Testament, and how important the dreams are. You've got Joseph taking the Holy Family to Egypt. You've got Moses. You've got the family of Israel, the patriarchal family, going to Egypt. You got Moses bringing them out of Egypt through the Red Sea. You've got Jesus in the baptism, which is connected with the passage of the Red Sea. And then you've got the Israelites in the desert. Jesus goes on the desert. And the point is that Jesus gets everything right that Israelites didn't get right in the Old Testament. It's kind of like, whoa, there's somebody in this world that actually got it right. That's big. I mean, the ancient rabbis said, there's one person who could live a sinless life, the whole humanity could be saved. And in fact, that's what we have in Jesus. So, Jesus goes up to the mountain, and when he was seated, he called his disciples around him, and he opened up his mouth. Every one of these words are very important as an introduction to the Sermon on the Mount. First of all, he's on a mountain. Now, Moses is on a mountain, right? Mount Sinai. This mountain is a whole new mountain. Because one big difference is that Jesus opens his mouth, okay? He's the mouth of God. In Sinai, Moses is a middleman, so to speak. He's speaking for God to the people. But here, it's Jesus opening his mouth to the disciples, and hence to the rest of us, as the mouth of God. A new mountain. It's connected and built with the old, and connected historically with the old mountain, but the old mountain, Sinai, is a type of this new mountain with Jesus as God speaking to us. So that's important. You see it to understand structure and the language, and that's how the ancients would hear it, and that's how you should read it too. We can do this. It's not hard. Now the second thing is we got a list of 9 Beatitudes. If you look at it just as like a bucket list, okay, then you're going to miss out on the whole thing, okay? One thing I've learned reading biblical poetry and stories is that you have to approach these as the way the ancients would. How does this work? There's 9 of them, right? If there's 9, it must be a middle one, a fifth, right? That means you have 4 going up into and the 4 coming back from the 5th one, okay? And so you have to look at 1 and 4, not just as a list of them, but one integrating going into the next, and to the next and the next. And then you need to see what the middle one is and why that's so important. And emphasized, that's the word I'm looking for. And the middle one is emphasized, which is mercy. Why is mercy emphasized in the middle of the 9 Beatitudes, And the first one is humility. Why is so important? Spirit. Why is that so important? And how does that that start us off into the whole thing. And then, of course, we've got the last one, which is a real downer, blessed are you, pronoun changes to you. And it says, when you're persecuted, when people think very poorly of you, right? Why is that the last one? That's very important, So I'm going to look at my letter in the bulletin this week and see how I use the imagery of entering into a church, a temple of the blessedness. Spend some time in each one of these Beatitudes, which kind of forms a chapel, a side chapel in this temple, and see if it doesn't make sense when you are reading this, to see the Beatitudes and not just like a bucket list that are unconnected, but see what it does to your soul when you spend time in this new tabernacle that's built, or this temple that's built with these side chapels, and see what happens to your soul. So that's your homework for this weekend. And Sunday I'll unravel it in our homily. God bless you. Bye.